Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to everyone. I welcome all of you wonderful, beautiful people to the Naked Truth, a webinar on the present reality of recruitment process. Now, no. Please keep your clothes on. This program is entirely rated umum, you, for everyone's viewing. So please keep it modest. Please keep it civil. All right. Okay, everyone. Again, thank you for joining us for today's program, today's webinar. My name is Shazwani, and I'll be your moderator for today. This webinar is brought to you especially by the hardworking people of the Language Unit General Studies Department of Politeknik Ungku, Omar. And again, welcome everyone. We are ecstatic to have all of you here this afternoon with us. We are beyond happy, humbled, and grateful that you took your time off to join us this afternoon. All right. So those joining us on YouTube Live, a little shout out. Hello, everyone. Please drop some comment to tell us where you're from. So we have viewers from YouTube Live from all over Malaysia. I know some of us joining us from Politeknik Jelly. Hello, Politeknik Jelly, how are you? And I heard some of you are joining us from Politeknik Seberang Perai. Yes, Seberang Perai representative. And I know the majority of you here are from Politeknik Ungku, Omar. Thank you for joining us. So perhaps some of you are from college community non di utara, non di selatan, or sekolah menengah somewhere in Johor Bahru, in Mersing, in Kuantan. Drop us a comment of your location and we have a special shout out your way. We have people from Politeknik Sultan Izzuddin Shah. Hello everyone from PSIS. Politeknik Seberang Perai, Politeknik Port Dickson. Hello everyone. I'm so happy that you can join us this afternoon. All right, so keep on sending the comment in the comment section. Tell us where you're from and just simply a little shout out. All right. So and while we are here, why don't we click like and subscribe to ELU's YouTube channel? It will take less than 1 second. Click like and subscribe. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's webinar is especially for you, students, fresh grads, future fresh grads that are about to embark in the world of job seeking and job hunting later on in your near future. All right. So we have a lineup of speakers, 2 industry experts who will share their knowledge and insights and perhaps spill some beans too on the reality and the current job hunting procedures, preparation and challenges, what to do and what not to do. All right. So get your pen and paper ready, because we guarantee you this kind of intel, this kind of information you will not get anywhere else. All right. Please get ready for that. All right. So just a little housekeeping before we start. Should you have any question during the webinar, during the presentation, please type them in the comment section in YouTube. We will bring them up during Q&A session after each presenter slot. All right, guys? Okay. And also, do not forget to fill up your attendance detail, as eCert will be awarded for your participation, okay? The registration link will be available in the comment section from time to time. So please keep your eye on the lookout for the registration link. All right, let's not waste any more time. Last but not least, okay, one more reminder. Please stay tuned until the end of today's webinar, until 4:30. Please make sure you stay tuned until 4:30 because we have an exciting quiz at the end of this program, and some cash prizes await you, the lucky winner. All right, so you do not want to miss that. Please stay tuned until 4:30 because we have some exciting game at the end of this program. All right, okay, so to begin our program, you are pleased to have Miss Haniza Nurlin binti Mat Yusof, Head of General Studies Department, Politeknik Ungku, Omar, to deliver the opening remarks, please.
Distinguished speakers, Ms. Christine Chong, General Manager of Peninsula Skills, Encik Rosdy bin Abdullah, Human Resources Manager of Sapura Energy Berhad, the respected CSEC unit, Dr. Riam Chiao Mai, lecturers, participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Naked Truth. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to the English Language Unit and the CSEC Unit for organizing this webinar on the present reality of the recruitment process. This webinar is undertaken in collaboration with an industry advisory committee and long life learning initiative programs. Participants of this webinar will learn some of the key insights on the real current job hunting procedures, preparations, and challenges from two distinguished speakers who have this sort of domain experience and expertise in the recruitment process. They will share some insights on the reality of present recruitment challenges, the tricks and the tips. They will also highlight some job search methods and career planning, and they will also show how you can ace your future job interviews. I believe that all participants will get the exposure on the present job market issues, the reality of job hunting requirement, and job interview preparations. I'm sure that you will find the discussions interesting and valuable. I strongly encourage all participants to actively engage in the session. Thank you all, and I wish you a very successful learning experience.
Thank you, Ms. Haniza Norlin, for the opening speech. All right, moving right along. As I promised earlier on, we brought to you a lineup of industry experts with years of experience and priceless insights and perhaps some tips and some secrets, okay? On the reality of present recruitment process, the challenges, the tricks, and the tips, all right? They are the person to go to talk about what makes a standout resume and what makes a winning interview candidate. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker. Let's welcome to the stage the dashing Mr. Rosdy bin Abdullah, Human Resources Manager, Sapura Energy Berhad. How are you, Mr. Rosdy?
Alhamdulillah.
You
Thank
look
you
very
very much.
dapper today in your checkered shirt.
Yeah, this is my routine actually.
Lovely to have you today. And let's welcome to the stage the ever cheerful Miss Christine Chong, General Manager, Peninsula Skills, Sindian Berhad.
Hello,
Hello, Miss Chong. Lovely to see you today. How are you?
I'm good, doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for taking your time off your busy schedule. We understand both of you are extremely busy, busy professionals. So we are pleased and humbled that both of you took the time off your busy schedule once again. Thank you for that. Okay, so Mr. Rosdy will take the first slot. He will be going on assessing rubbish. What's going on? Why are you talking about rubbish, Mr. Rosdy? He will be talking about the real truth about recruitment documentation. So we, all of us, will be the lucky audience to learn firsthand on the documentation needed for an interview, the do's and don'ts of resumes, cover letters, portfolios, and whatnot. So get your pen and paper ready, children. And the second speaker, the lovely Miss Christine, will then continue for the second slot on 3:30 to talk about candidate from hell. What's going on, Miss Christine? You will talk about the real truth about job interview candidates. Okay, so throughout your many years of handling interviews, we will have the chance to look into the characteristic of a good and bad interview candidates. I'm sure you have many experience dealing with that, right?
Definitely.
And Miss Christine will also be sharing with us on what to be done during interview session. All right, we look forward for your sharing session afterwards. And I believe all of our eager viewers have a lot to benefit from your input and sharing. Okay, so a quick reminder, everyone, those joining us on YouTube Live, should you have any question, ask away. Do not be shy. Okay, type your answer in the comment section and we will address them during Q&A session at the end of each presentation. We would love to hear from you. Okay, ask away. So without further ado, get your pen and paper ready, children. we bring to the stage now Mr. Rosdy bin Abdullah, Human Resources Manager, Sapura Energy Berhad, to spill some beans on the real truth about recruitment documentation. However, Mr. Rosdy, before we begin, I would like to grill you on something. Before you take the floor, Mr. Rosdy, so allow me to ask this question. Mr. Rosdy, tell us about yourself. And with that question, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Puan Syazwani. Very energetic to see you. Assalamualaikum to everyone. Thank you. First and foremost, I would like to thank you to Politeknik Omar for inviting me to give this opportunity for me to share some of my experience with everyone. I'm Human Resource or Head of Department for Human Resource and Admin for Sapura Fabrication Malaysia Sdn Berhad, located in Manjung, Lumut. Those who actually are coming to Lumut, so they know that where is Kampung Aceh. I'm traveling actually every day. I'm staying in Batu Gajah, almost 70 kilometers per day. I'm 52 years old. I have one wife and I have 5 children. And I think my youngest actually now 17, and the eldest actually now 28. So just a little bit, I started my career. Then this is my 5th company. So I hope that it will become my last destination before I retired. So I expected to retire by 50, hopefully by 55. Okay. Thank you. I will share some to you, to everyone, actually about things actually mentioned by Puan Syazwani just now, about things that you need to avoid, especially on resume. Why actually resume is important, why actually the CV is important. So I will share my slide. Hopefully that you can see the slide down there. All right. So, okay. So this is the slide. I will start the slide. This is about myself. Okay, what is resume? I think all of you can see my slide, isn't it? Is there any? I think it should be. No issue? All right. Okay. I would just like to brief you a little bit about CV. I think CV in the short term is short, to understand a little bit about CVs or resume. I think this is something that everyone have to be serious on this, because the moment that you need, this is to represent yourself when you wanted to, express things actually about your background. Some people say resume like a love letter. When you decided to send a love letter to your girlfriend or boyfriend, of course, definitely you need to send something that are very lovely, You need to express things actually, what is your passion, things that is need about your background. So CV is like love letter, or some people say like I'm like ambassador. How actually that ambassador actually will knock to any employers. This is very important. That's why for me, you have to take very serious, especially on your CV and resume. Do not take very lightly, especially on your preparation. That's why I would like actually to recommend to everyone, please do some survey, some research, and of course you need to ask, your friend, maybe your, whatever that you know, especially how to, write a proper CVs or resume. Because some of I noticed
Mr.
that.
Rosdy, sorry
Yep.
to interrupt. You might as well click on the yes, read mode. Yes, to make it
Okay. All right.
bigger.
All right.
So sorry to
Okay.
interrupt.
Sorry. No problem. No problem. So, so that is
I
the
think it's
reason
on
why actually.
the book symbol. Is that the book symbol at the
Yep.
bottom?
Okay.
Can you?
Okay.
Are you able to click on it?
Hold on,
The book
yeah.
symbol, the second one, right after
books.
the slideshow symbol.
Yeah. Now I cannot share. Is it?
We can see your slide, but if you click on the book symbol, the reading mode, you will make your slide bigger.
So now
The second note.
yeah, I know. Now the slide is not bigger, is it?
We can see it, no problem.
All right.
Would you like to carry on?
All right.
All right, thank
Okay.
you so much. So sorry to interrupt.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I would like to actually to just to share with you because I think this is important for everyone to know that CVs or resume are very important because it actually explain about your career achievement, your education background, especially on education background. Because many company actually wanted to know how long you have been, in the certain companies and what kind of background or education background that actually you have, skill pool, skill sets, things actually you are you can perform other than what actually you learn in universities or in during your study. This is very important. That's why resume of curriculum vitae actually are very important actually to express, to represent yourself. Even the headhunters company depends on your CVs. If let's say you are given opportunity, let's say you try to log in actually in job street, in LinkedIn, actually people may see your your resume, your background, your profile, because people wanted to know what kind of things actually you can offer to the company. And this is your ambassador. Again, this is a love letter actually to your girlfriend or to your boyfriend. That's why those who actually are not serious in writing their resume, they may not actually get the opportunity to call by the company. So please take very important, put your effort actually, especially in writing your resume. If let's say you have, to be honest, if let's say you have issues in writing in English, doesn't matter. You write in Bahasa, but of course, better you write in English and get someone actually to help you on how to write a proper English, especially on professional English. This is very, very important again. All right. What things actually you should not, to try to avoid? Again, I mentioned my point is now things that actually people say are rubbish. It's not rubbish, but for me, people may not actually, attach. People are not interested to read your resume when you just copy or paste, your lengthy job description from the, from the internet, from someone who actually are not related to your job. So that's why job description doesn't mean that actually you need to describe everything. Just put a summary about your job description. That one I think is just enough, because people just wanted to know things actually are when actually how many years that you have been attached in certain company. So that kind of position actually you can explain to him during your interview. Not necessary for you to tell everything, your job description in the resume. That is not so much important, because people want to know what is your last position actually in that particular company. So let's say you used to work in any company, last position. If let's say let's say you used to work in a company, you have 5 different departments used to, for the last, let's say 5 years. So that during that 5 years, actually, what is your last position in that company? So people just want to know what is the position that you actually before you left the company. So resume should not actually more than 3 pages. Very important. Normally 1 or 2 is just enough, because people want to know summary of your background. Things actually you're not write something that actually too lengthy. This is not about karangan. This is something that actually you need to understand. Just an outcome, a summary of yourself. Like everyone else, the reviewer just want to know about your background. This is okay. And then do not actually put irrelevant information that does not actually add value to your resume. For instance, like your blood type, what is your what is your dream cars, and etc., etc., or what is your football player that you love to see. That is not important. Things actually you wanted to put actually are related to you and to your to your job that actually you like to apply. Okay, this is as an example of CV of resume format classic. This is about what I say about classic, because normally this is what actually normally people are doing currently. This is where, especially on our engineer, apply for our engineers, doctor, lawyers, because this is where are very technical. They did not have something that actually like other a lot of colors. Normally engineers are very straightforward. 1+1 is 2. So it's very simple and very very understanding. So this is more conservative, but it's actually applied to this particular so-called position. So this is a format that actually I noticed that a lot of youngsters, millenniums, generation that actually like to put. They put a lot of photos. They put a lot of graphic design where you can see their background. Things this is actually applied normally to IT position, human resource, admins, finance, software developers, marketing. So because people wanted to see different set of skill that actually this type of position, if certain company prefer like this type of CV format. So things actually what you need to put in your CV structure. Just went through.
Mr.
Uh,
Rosdy, I think the slide is frozen.
the slide is frozen.
Yeah, I think we need to move on. We need to move the slide. Is it frozen?
Hold on,
Or we stuck on the same slide?
hold on, yeah. Sorry.
Ah, no wonder. Don't worry. Take your time. It's normal.
Hmm.
I think we need to manually scroll
Can
down. Yeah.
can
Okay,
can you
no
see
problem.
now?
Sure, sure. We can see this. And
Can
you might as
this is
well
a
click on the
CV?
mode setting at the bottom. There's a book mode. There's a book icon at the bottom to make the slide go bigger. Can you click on the
Yes.
icon?
Is it
Yes, pretty. All right, go
right?
ahead, Mr.
Okay.
Rusty.
Now it's a CV structure, isn't it? Am I right? Okay. All right. I think eight items that you need to put in your CVs or in your resume. Of course, you need to put your contact details, your background, your names, your age, your address, your email address, your phone number. This is very important because normally company who are interested actually to call you, they may actually contact through emails or through your phone. Normally, phone is very easy. So that is very important. And your career profile summary. This is another second part. You need to put your career profile. So when you're talking about career profile, your career that actually you've been through in your for the last, let's say, how many years. Even you use not maybe you just grad from study, doesn't you may actually put during your study you may actually involve in part-time job. So that also you can actually include in your profile summary. Skill highlight. This is very important. Skill highlight. Things that actually you need to address to the company. Things that actually you need to make them actually understand what other area that other than your study that you can able to deliver. This is very important. Skill highlight. So training and certificate, if you have training and certificate, but those who actually just complete your study, you may not have training or certifications, but doesn't matter. But training, you whatever that you have, you just show. Professional experience, again, this is for those who actually have experience in the professional. Education history, like yourself, this is very important. Education history, you may start with your your secondary, maybe your certificate, diploma or degree. And then professional affiliation, if you have. If you don't have, doesn't matter, because normally professional affiliations depends on what type of position that you apply. For instance, like you if let's say you apply for manager level, this is very important. Professional affiliations, your professional experience, your certification, and then volunteer works, because some company would like to know whether you are involved in any NGOs, volunteer works if you have. Contact details, why I said I just now I mentioned to you, this is where the reviewer to reach the CV's owner. How actually people can contact you, because I did actually receive resume without the contact numbers, without the proper address. They actually did not update properly the resume. The address was not updated properly. The phone number was not updated properly. When they reached to me, when I tried to contact that person, I could not actually contact that person. And of course, definitely, I cannot actually offer that or interview to that person. So this is a waste to the company. Career profile, the most critical section in the document. Again, within 10 to 15 seconds, the reviewer will swiftly scan through and build a preliminary impression. This is a first impression about the reviewer or about the company to you. So that's why this is very important, that you need to put very important attention about your candidate's competency, because your profile actually will explain about yourself. So you need to put some effort, especially to address yourself, seriously on this. This is done by matching keywords and phrase to the requirement of the role applied. Again, you need to use a proper, professional in this career profile. Okay. A simple formula that can be used, I mentioned here, amazing X years of experience within blah 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 industry, specializing in your top or most specialized for local or global market. This is the first achievement that you would like to emphasize. The secondary achievement you would like to emphasize is about your strategy they are deployed to achieve it. So again, for things actually you need to also mention maybe how long you have been in certain company, what things actually you have achieved, and what is your career aspirations, and things actually you have managed to target, and things actually you're able to achieve. So career profile, this is something that I think I will skip. Skill highlight. This is important. You need to put also what kind of area that actually that you have skill set that you may actually can share to the reviewer and to the company. Relevant best match the role apply. Of course, in the resume again, you need to using bullet points, visual. You need to represent your point here. Skill highlight, for instance, this is example that I just want to share to you. Example from a junior dentist, dental surgery, administration, Microsoft Office, things actually that you can able to you are good on this. All right. Example from an HR executive, visual aid. From my experience, this is normally from background of HR, so they may actually provide. Let's say they have a different skill personal skill, customer service, marketing, human resources, business consultation, administration. You may also maybe put some people are very good in communication. Some people are good in marketing. Some people are good in actually are involved in doing IT work. So this is IT job. So this is the things actually you need to include in your skill highlight. So whatever that actually in their resume, please put bullet point, and please put just how from 1 to 5, what is your skill set that actually you can describe about yourself. Skill highlight, I think I skip on this. Most important, you should actually have a KISS formula. Keep it simple to make sure that actually again resume is not too lengthy. You should not actually have 3 and more pages. The best actually 1 or 2. So that's why in your resume normally people just wanted to know about your background and your summary of your background. Training and certification, no need to put too many, just area where actually are very important and demanding at this moment, where whatever that you would like to apply, you may see depends on the level of your position. If let's say you are applying for, you may be junior position, area that actually training that you need to attach maybe are related to your whatever that you would like to apply. If manager, maybe you need to put something that actually leadership, managerial training, etc., etc. So training and certification. This is example one of the candidates. For instance, like Petronas composite wrapping. This is again what are the area, not NIOSH, oil and gas safety passport, U-turn. So area where you just put points and number of years. Again, you just need to put point form in your resume. Okay, training certification again, professional experience. You may actually include in your professional experience things actually what your expectation. You may actually wanted to address in your resume. This is important. Professional experience. Things actually you want to put. Company that actually used to work earlier. So professional experience, I think I have a lot over here. I think not necessary for you to know everything here. All right. Example. Okay. I would like actually to inform to everyone in this forum. Resume and CV. If you have any issues or any hiccup that you need to you need to get some advice. Nowadays, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of online or professional advice that actually you can engage and you can get their advice, and you may actually contact them directly, because I have a few of my friend that who actually provides this kind of professional advice. Of course, you may have some cost that you need to pay to them, but I don't see that actually is quite expensive. But then you may actually ask them how much actually, because again I need you to everyone to remind to everyone again, do not take very lightly, especially on preparing your resume, because from my experience, I do have actually people who did not see that resume and CVs are important, where he may have a very good education background, he may actually score in during the study, but then when we see that actually they are not serious, so this is your first effort, your the company impression about yourself. So please again, do it properly, do it professionally, and make the reviewer and the company actually impressed with your work. So because this is again your it represent yourself. Whatever that you need to put nicely, put point form, and again, this is something that actually to make sure that if let's say we need, because normally company, when we have a vacancy for any particular position, they may not have 5 to 10 position in one time. They may have only one or two. So just imagine you need to compete with, I think if you're not 5 to maybe 100, sometimes more than that. Nowadays, when any position that we open for public, we receive a lot of application. Just imagine, put yourself in this, a situation where that position only have 2 vacancies. That those who are coming to us, for instance, like Sapura looking for, let's say, engineers, junior engineers. So throughout Malaysia, a lot of people are coming to us, and normally they will share and they will forward to us their resume. And normally, from my experience, we have more than 100 to 1,000. So normally in the range of average, I can say 100 to 200 lah. But I used to have until 1,000. But normally nowadays, 100 to 200 is considered normal. Just imagine only one position, but you need to select almost nearly to 200. If you go to job street, they have thousands of people. Just put yourself into this kind of situation. How to impress the reviewer? How to impress the company if you not take it? You take very lightly, especially. That's why some people are very colorful, especially on IT, marketing, they like to put this kind of, company logos, they used to work, let's say, in Petronas, they used to work in Nestle. So that kind of thing is very important, because people want to know how actually you familiar with, ITs. Because IT also a very important skill that company wanted to know about your background. So again, put some effort, take your time, get some advice, get professional advice, someone who actually used to work in different industry, just to get to know what area that you need to prepare. Do not just blindly whatever you think that, oh, this is okay, just forward to the company. You may lose because of you may not able to address properly. Your resume did not represent and presentable. When we talk about presentable, when we talk about marketable, you need to know that why sometimes people are getting just selected for interview, because the way that actually they write the resume are fantastic. Because this is your first gate to make sure that actually you enter and penetrate to the company. You have to make sure that you're able to step in, especially to impress the company about your resume. Again, resume is your love letter. Resume is your ambassador. It's like an ambassador to make sure the company actually wanted to know more and wanted to learn, wanted to share things actually you can share to the company. Yeah. So again, do not take very lightly on this. Okay, educational history, very important. You have to write your education history. Some people, some company, like Japanese company, just to share with you, Japanese company, they know that actually people, some people are not good in education, but they learn. Some people may not actually apply directly to university, so they may actually started with actually very low position. Low in they start with certificate, and then they continue with diploma, they continue with degree. Or some people, even though they are still under study, for instance, that they apply any position, but and at that time they still study, they still pursue their study in degree, for instance. So this time some company, they did not so much actually focus whether you already complete your degree or diploma, but they want to see whether you have your intention to pursue your study. That's why education again is very important, just to show that you have your initiative to how to step up, from maybe certificate to a diploma and diploma to degree. This is the process where people are always learn. Some company, I used to work with Japanese company for 18 years. So Japanese, they love to see people actually to know that these people, always try to improve from time to time. That's why Japanese have Kaizen, Japanese have continuous improvement. They wanted to know, they wanted to see people, improve from, from one area to another area. So again, education history are very important. Do not be ashamed that even though you may have, a not good result during your school time, doesn't matter. Maybe you may have only in SPM, in STPM, and not so good result. Doesn't matter. But the most important part actually, how at the end of the your study that you'll be able to to get a diploma or to degree. So education history again, you need to just put a very simple what area. Your education from your certificate until to the highest education that actually you are able to. So I would like actually to remind and to advise to everyone. I think in this area, especially yours, actually like you are still young. If let's say you already complete your diploma, you may actually pursue your degree, and maybe after your degree, you may actually interested to pursue your master. Again, this is please. I think you can put actually you can explain, you can write, you can jot down actually in your resume that now you are pursuing your 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 degrees, or your any, or doesn't matter degrees, maybe your professional certificate, a professional diploma, whatever that actually you need to you see that actually opportunity for you to learn. And again, from my experience also, company like to know also you did not focus only to one area. Some they wanted to know other than your your education background, you may also have a professional certificate. For instance, like if let's say you wanted to pursue your your career in manufacturing company, they may have certain professional certificate that you need actually to to learn. For instance, like safety and health, you may have to learn about leadership, you may have to learn about supervisories. So you may actually include also in your so-called like education history that your area that you are now continue to learn and continue to start, pursue your study. So for instance, like myself, I used to I have few area where to be a so-called like a successful candidate, where people may see that you have that kind of skill set that they wanted to know. So I always remind my staff, even to my kids, you need to create the opportunity. Do not wait the opportunity. So in order for you to create the opportunity, again, you need to make sure that you have that kind of skill set. So I'm qualified for, I'm a competent for safety and health officer. I have a green book, for instance. I'm certified for a trainer. I'm also certified for the, for instance, like I learn and I pursue my study in how to be a lead auditor, especially on the ISO certification. I also have, few areas that actually things actually the company may not offer you, but you yourself actually wanted to have a different skill set to make sure that again create the opportunity. When the company wanted to have someone who knows about certain area, you have that kind of quality. So education doesn't mean that actually you just focus on your education alone. If let's say you are studying marketing, what area that actually interrelated in marketing? This is very important for you. You need to judge and you need to make sure that that training or that professional certificate are involved with marketing. For instance, like human resource, what area in human resource that actually are involved? So, of course, you need to deal with people. You need to deal with human. You are not you deal with machine. So, no, of course, you need to good in what do you call this? Communication skill. You need to good in how psychologies. You need to know about little bit about production planning, because when you deal with people, this is an area that actually you may actually get involved. Of course, counseling area, disciplinary, employment act, labor act, labor law. This is the area that you need to make sure that you well versed, and of course you have to get ready. even though you are new, but then again, you need to get it. So education history are very important because people not to know about how far you can go, but at least the history, about your education. Some people, like again, I mentioned to you, in Japanese company, it doesn't matter actually whether you have actually started as a certificate or diploma, but they wanted to see whether how far and how high that you can grow in the company, because Japanese, prefer long life employment. Japanese company normally compared to European, compared to Masalai company, they wanted people actually to work until they retire. So that's why education is only a bridge. It's only it's a formality that actually want people wanted to hire you. Of course, you have a skill set, and of course that is the so-called people say area that actually for you to enter. So, but then again, they wanted to know how long actually and how far that you can grow in the company. Okay, this is education history. I think I will not actually touch so much on this. Your name of university, your whatever that education that you learn. I think not so important on here. Okay, underlying focus, education history again. I did not attain a decent Cgpa. How do I go about here? As mentioned earlier, focus on your thriving strength as your career progress. If let's say in certain company, they may not actually focus. Some company, yes, but some company, no. That's why Cgpa, of course, is good to have a good Cgpa, but those who actually not have a good Cgpa, not to worry. Because I think the most important part, you need to focus also on your thriving strength. Your strength actually. That's why you need to make sure that the first and foremost, that resume actually will put you whether you will get the interview or not. So the moment that you get the interview, you know what to do during the interview. That is the part I think Miss Christine will explain to you. But now you have to make sure that area why actually if you put yourself into the reviewer or the company situation, why I need to call this guy for the for the interview. Because you just imagine if I have 100, 200, 300 applicants. If I have only two position, I may call maybe 20 to 30 applicants. I may not call more than that. I don't want to waste my time. I have, amples of candidates that I can select. So just imagine how to make sure that I impress with your resume. That's why, again, resume, you need to don't take very lightly on this. So that's why focus on education, focus on your profile, and focus on your details, your background. Okay, professional affiliation, again, this is when you have used to work with companies, you used to have professional affiliations, like for instance, like some people are actually attached with MEF, with FMM, with certain those who actually study in accounts, so they may actually involve with accounts professional affiliations. So like engineer, they may actually involve with engineer affiliations. So like human resource, they may actually involve with human resource affiliation. This is again because you need to link with this professional affiliation, because to make sure that they know that actually you always up to date yourself, and you always involved with any latest development of on the area that that you are looking for. So that's why for certain position, professional affiliation are very important. They wanted to know whether you get involved or not, with this type of professionals, group. Because when you have a professional group, then you know that actually your mind, you know that actually what is latest development on this part particular. For instance, like human resource, when you need to update yourself about latest labor laws, you need to update yourself about what are the requirement, the government requirement. Do endorse, for instance, like now in COVID-19. Of course, normally many company, when they are talking about COVID-19, the most so-called the frontliners in any company, either HSC, health, safety and environment, or the human resource are involved to be a frontliner to handle this type of issues. So that's why when you do not actually get involved, you may actually overlook, or you may actually not be updated. Then of course you may have a problem on this. That's why professional affiliation depends on the position. Is actually important to certain people. National Association of Corrosion Engineer, again, as I mentioned to you, it depends on what things that you apply. If let's say you apply in as an engineer, Of course, they wanted to know Malaysia Institute of Management, Welding Institute. I say, no, this is again depends on what area that actually you wanted to apply and what field of study that actually you pursue. Volunteer works. Some company are not so much actually bother about this, but some maybe those who have CSR, they may actually see this is also part of the area that they may consider. Some company may not, but those like a big company, multinational company who have their own CSR program. So of course, this is the area where they may see that actually these people depends on the position that you apply. If let's say you apply in human resource administration area about marketing, about volunteer works, of course it may actually relevant, but of course engineering and QA, etc., I think it may not actually so much appear. All right. Again, CV review, proofreading. Okay. After completion of write-up, it wise to check for spelling, grammatical, and sentence structure error and mistake. Again, you may get someone actually to check for you. A lot of professionals outside that actually can provide a proofreading that actually to provide the assistance. Of course, you have to pay, and to make sure that actually your resume, again, do not take very lightly about this. You need to get prepared, get ready. What things actually that people will impress with your CV. Get prepared to proofread your content and request for genuine feedback. Get someone, if let's say you may not have a budget, you may get someone actually I do not know, maybe your teachers, someone who good actually someone who have experience, or someone who actually work in companies that actually can give free advice, free feedback to you. So just get and go get some opinion about this. Preferably seek assistance from professional, of course, in the field. For instance, like you wanted to apply for engineering or process engineer job, you may find someone who actually currently a practitioner, engineer, for instance. If you apply for human resource, get someone who actually human resource practitioner who can advise from his point of view what makes actually he able to succeed in the interview. If let's say you want to apply in position where to be a lecturer, for instance, you need to see a lecturer what makes actually the company call that particular person actually for the interview. Again, seek assistance, do not shy, get advice, get prepared. Typically, of course a financial fee will be incurred, but again, if let's say you don't have that kind of budget, you may have someone who actually close to you. But the best thing, of course, I think in our a lot of company now actually are they can provide this kind of service to you. Okay, this is one of the company www. This call this company I get this this company actually from one of the candidates actually. When I call this candidate, so then I see that he quite impressed the way that actually he put all his point in the resume. Then I asked him where you get actually advice from this for his resume, because this guy also is actually a fresh graduate from from our local universities. But then he mentioned to me he do some research. He also get seek advice from from the company. Also he get also advice from from professional advice. So he mentioned to me this is the company that actually provide him the advice. So this company actually at this moment, I don't know now whether he's already incurred any cost or not, but this company provide a free evaluation service where user can upload CVs. You can take this and get feedback based on this fundamental parameter. So you can go online. A lot of company that provide hopefully that they can review and they can give feedback to you. This is a very important, again, a platform for you that you need to know, and you need to get ready your resume. My advice against please before you submit any of your resume, maybe this is your first company that you would like to apply. Even my daughter recently she informed me that she wanted to apply for a job. So I asked her actually to get advice from professional, or maybe you can share her resume to me, at least I can give my feedback. before, because I know that some of you may have a lot of things actually you need to include in your resume. Again, 1 or 2 pages is enough. And of course, put it actually in a point form to make sure that people impress. Put your photo, your latest photo, and that photo, make sure that it's a professional photo. Do not put photo that actually you just take from your own handphone. Get something that actually make people, when people saw your photo, people may see that, people may see that, this is interested. I may actually, call you. So at least the first impression, see the photo, see your resume, then people, of course, the company, the viewer actually definitely may consider and put aside, consider as shortlisted for them actually to review and again call for interview. That is your first gate to make sure that the first entry, the point of entry, make sure that your resume actually are excellent. The point of entry to make sure that other than area that actually you need to focus. So I think that's all. I open for floor actually to ask any question, Puan Syahwani.
Yes, apparently we have many questions from our eager viewers, Mr. Rosdy. We have this one question from Ainul. He asks, as a fresh grad, sir, I might not have much working experience. Okay, he just recently graduated. So I got nothing to write under work experience. What if I join volunteering work? Can I put that under work experience? Is that possible,
Yep.
Mr. Rosdy?
Yes. For those who actually are considered fresh, I recommend, even me, to be honest, I also have my own NGO that I get involved. Please put that, because some company, especially even in Sapura, even in my previous company, we prefer we wanted to know, other than his study during study time, what area that actually is get involved. If let's say you are involved in volunteer, put things actually, because people, some company, especially fresh, they did not want to have only fresh about education. They wanted people to actually get involved with society, get involved with community. So this is very important. Again, you need to portray and express about what actually good about you. So go ahead. For me, I encourage people actually to put whatever. Even he used to be a pump attendant in Petronas. Put that actually, because that is where you learn how to communicate with people.
True.
How for you to develop your communication skill. When you greet people, then you can actually not goreng lah. I mean, express during the interview that why actually I choose to be a pump attendant, because this is where I can meet a lot of people. Go ahead for me.
So any job matters, even if you are e-hailing riders, those job matters,
Yes.
yeah, Mr. Rosdy?
Yes.
So
Yes.
go
This
ahead,
is
go for that part-time jobs, yeah.
go for the part-time job, because interviewer also is a human being. They have kids. They don't like people actually sit at home, do nothing. So at least they know that you are doing something for your survive. At least you are helping your parents. This is good for you. Go ahead for me.
Well done. That is a very good tips from Mr. Rosdy. So kids out there, please go for part-time jobs during your semester break. Do not just sit at home and watch Netflix all day long. We got time for the second question,
No
Mr.
problem.
Rosdy.
Go ahead.
This is from Muhammad Risham. He said, I have quite low Cgpa during my diploma. However, I'm a fast learner and a hardworking person. Okay, how do I still make my resume stands out? Will they still be impressed if my pointers are low? Okay, Mr. Rosdy, this is a gold pot question. Will CGPA make or break a resume?
All right. CGPA, certain position, yeah, they may actually prefer to have a good CGPA, but not all position, again, not all. That's why when you have maybe hiccup in your study, in your CGPA, but then you need to support with your activities, for instance, like, volunteers, maybe you're during your study, you may actually involve during semester break that you actually do your part-time job, where people may see that you have exposed, and where you expose yourself to different kind of, area that you may be somebody, because not everyone maybe during study time, they are good in study. So I believe from my own experience, during my interview, during my, when I select one of my engineer, normally engineering are quite tough, to get more than 3.8 and above. They may have 2.7, but I know that that kind of study actually need, to have extra, effort. But then I choose 2.7 instead of 3 something because I see that actually during the semester break, he have a lot of area that actually he's get involved and his area where actually can support. And this is where people see that I want someone who actually to not only good about education, but some company also wanted to know whether this kind of people can mix around with this kind of environment because heavy industry, for instance, they did not want who people knows about study alone, but people who actually can absorb and understand about the situation, the current situation. That's why for me, when those who actually have a low Cgpa, for me, you need to support with other area there where, especially on your volunteers, your part-time job, this is the things actually maybe you can able to convince the company.
Extremely important tips there from Mr. Rosdy. So guys, it's not necessarily important that you be a book smart, but you also need to be street smart too. Get some
Right.
experience, search for other experience, other part-time jobs to show that you are capable of doing multiple tasks or multiple jobs. Yeah, that is a very good point from you, Mr. Rosdy. Do we have time for a third question?
Yes, Ken, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I have this one question from Naufal. Okay. He said here, sir, no, sorry, so from Saktish, sorry. Good day, sir. I'm currently doing part-time degree and working full-time. How should I mention it in my resume? Is it okay to jump from one company while studying? Oh, he got two questions here. He's doing part-time jobs and also working part-time. So how he should mention this in his resume? In his second question, is it okay to jump from one company to another while still studying? What do you say about that, Mr. Rusty?
Okay. When it's good actually someone. For me, I love to see my staff who pursue study regardless whether diploma, degree or master. Because I always believe that learning should be in progress. Learning should be actually continue until you die. Because you will not stop only for degree. Because learn doesn't mean that actually on certificate, on education, but also in other area. That's why if let's say you currently doing your degree and you working in full time, I think this is advantage for the company. Many company would like to have someone who actually not confine himself or herself only one area. For instance, like maybe he have diploma in administration, then he continue pursue study in degree in maybe in other area marketing. So where he have two so-called area where he can contribute to the company. Company will love as long actually you can able to do that. I think if I in the position of the company, normally from my own experience, I always encourage my staff to pursue study, especially even let's say you have diploma. Even myself, for instance, to be honest, I take my degree during my working time. Even I pursue my master also during my working time. So I believe that actually, of course, it's a tough, but then it's again how you can actually able to digest yourself to make sure that actually you can excel in your study. And I did not actually encourage, especially for those who actually just join or while study you jump from one company to another company. I did not encourage. For me, 3 years to 5 years, 3 years is minimum, 5 years is maximum. You ask my opinion because I always remind even to my team, you need to find a good boss. Remember, not to find a good company because I believe that boss may actually give you exposed to you, give you opportunity for you to grow. That's why company is secondary for me. You need to know that who actually can develop your career. That's why 3 to 5 years for me, maximum is 5 years. 3 years maybe a minimum. So for you to learn and for you to jump within, before 5 years, I think the company may see that actually you are not so-called loyal and you are job hopping from one company to another. So my suggestion actually depends whether that company, what kind of company that offer. If let's say now you are currently working with company where you just treat that company as a part-time or company that actually for you, because that company may close to your house, so you may not actually serious because you try to find another company that actually can able to give you a permanent job. So you may actually jump to that company. But then if in your so-called career history, when companies see that you have jumped from one another company within a year or two, they may not select you because they worry that after 1 year or 2 years, you may again jump to another company. So that is my advice.
I understand, but that is the one characteristic of Generation Alpha, Gen A, or
Yeah.
Millennial.
Yeah.
It's not that they're not loyal, but they always jump to the next opportunity. So, guys,
Right.
loyalty is one important characteristic. All right, that is a very um
Well,
insightful. Yes, yes, Mr. Yusuf.
I would like to add one here.
Mm-hmm.
For me, loyalty is not about how long actually you serve for the company. Loyalty is not, I mean, from my own experience, loyalty is how you devoted, how you, you know, uh, work with the company where you deliver whatever the company actually require you to do. That is loyalty. For me, results are very important. Length of service is one thing, but how you actually devoted, how you actually deliver whatever that you're supposed to deliver to the company, that is for me is loyalty. Because the company expect you to deliver, you need to deliver that.
True, very true. That is a very important point. Because there is a saying, kerja itu ibadah, is it not? We need
Right,
to treat
right.
our job as in that we have to give 100% to it. That is a very good point. Yes, yes, well explained. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Rosdy, for that enlightening input. I learned a lot. You managed to deliver everything within 1 hour. I wish we have more time. I wish we have more time to pick on your brains to get more information from you. However, ladies and gentlemen, sadly to say, Mr. Rosdy is a very, very, very busy person. So this marked the end of Mr. Rosty's time with us. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry about that. So Mr. Rosdy, thank you for your time. Thank you for your insightful information. We learned a lot from you, and hopefully we are able to have more fruitful engagement in near future with you, Mr. Rosdy. So
Thank
with that,
you.
thank you so much, Mr. Rosdy. We learned so much. Thank you so much. All right, take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye. Assalamualaikum, Mr. Rosdy. So yes, guys, that's the end from of the first slot. We learned a lot from Mr. Rosdy. He is a HR representative from Sapura Energy Berhad. So he has many experience dealing with documentation and whatnot. So also guys, a quick reminder, don't forget to fill up your attendance detail as an e-cert will be awarded for your participation. Please keep a lookout for the registration link in the comment section from time to time. All right, so don't forget to register because we will give you your e-cert. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is time now to welcome Miss Christine Chong, General Manager, Peninsula Skills Sindian Berhad, into the stage. Hello, Miss Chong. It is now your slot. Miss Chong will dig deeper into what makes a winning candidate and how to excel your interview session. How are you, Miss Christine?
I'm doing good. I learned a
Are you
lot at
ready for your
backstage.
session?
I learned a lot at backstage for intro roasting.
Yes, exactly. I was taking notes about his points, things that I do not know. Like you can also substitute your lack of experience with volunteering. So guys, go for volunteering work. Go also for part-time jobs. Okay, so Miss Christine, before we begin, I was informed that you have many, many, many years of experience handling job interviews over your shoulder. Am I right?
Yes, a little bit experience I can share later.
Okay. All right. Before we begin, allow me to ask you this. Are you ready for your question?
Sure.
Tell me about yourself, Miss Christine Chong. That is a
Thank you.
very number one question asked during interview, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
All right.
And with that
Thank you
question,
so much.
the stage is yours. Please go
All
ahead.
right. Thank you so much, Wani. Like Encik Rosdy said, a very energetic moderator. Thank you so much again for Politeknik Ungku Omar for inviting me. It's so good to be here. And as I mentioned just now, I learned a lot backstage. I hope you guys are taking some notes. Yeah, just a quick to introduce myself. My name is Christine, and I have two daughters. One is in Form 5, and another one is about to complete her social diploma in social work. And currently she's working part-time in NGO. Yeah. And my highest educations is MBA. I'm already in my current job for almost 14 years, and I'm still loving it. Okay. Just now we talk about millennium, maybe 14 years to you is such a long time. But, once you really enjoy a job, 14 years is not long, right? Over the years, I have opportunity to work very closely with the employees for the T&D is a training and development. I also have the opportunity and privilege to work very closely with the graduates and in preparing them for employment, such as like a mock interview, like grooming sessions, business etiquette, and etc. And you can tell I actually believe in training. I believe in coaching and to empower people. And I'm very passionate about, helping people become the best versions of themselves. So this is basically of who I am. I hope it gives you some idea. All right, let me share the screen, then we can start. Just give me a minute. All right. All right, just a quick check. Can you see my screen? Can I? All right. Okay, I make sure I minimize it. Okay. All right. I'd like to start to talk about the power of first impression because this is the most important part of the job interview. This is how you have an opportunity to make a good impressions, during the very first few minutes, if it's not a few seconds. Yeah. So let's spend a little bit of time just to go through this, one by one. So we'll share with you some tips how to leave a very good impressions to your interviewer. You know why? Because you will never have a chance to make a second first impression. This is why it called first impression, isn't it? Right. And do you know how fast is the first impressions made? Would you like to guess? So let me look at the some comment. You can have a quick guess. How fast the first impressions made? Right. Okay. Yes, correct. You have 7 seconds to leave very good impressions. So, so you have to really spend some effort in creating a good impressions, right? Right. The answers start coming in. Yeah, some say within a minute and few seconds. Yep. Some even say it's within a fraction of seconds, right? So you have very short span of time to really leave a good impressions, right? Okay. A quick one. We go through this impression. Let's go, before we go for the tips, let's share with you those, we have few types of interview, right? Normally, what you normally know is the one-to-one, right? It's called individual interview, right? For some company, for the large organization, this could be the screening process to see if you fit to move forward for the next stage, or maybe the main interview. But to some smaller company, this could be the main interview you're going to have. So regardless of what, you need to be well prepared, right? This is the very first interview that everybody knows. And there's also another type, it's called panel interviews. Usually you have 3 people on the panels, or it could be more. And then these 3 people, it could be from somebody from HR, somebody from the head of department, and also maybe somebody who could be your direct supervisor, of course, if you're being hired. And then 3 of them, or more than 3, they have a different area of interest to ask you. Of course, the HR person will ask you more about the HR issue. Maybe they ask you about your expected salary and things like that. If it's a HOD, the head of department, and the supervisor, might be asking you related directly about the responsibility and the skill set that you have. Yeah. So be prepared for that. You may have this kind of interview with a few people in front of you. All right, let's move on with the third type of interview. Is the telephone interviews.
Sorry, Miss Chong, can you resize your slide because it's slightly small?
Small, huh?
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit greedy. I want to see the comment. Maybe I'll give up on that. I'll let you take care of the. I think I
No
better let
problem.
you take care of that. Huh?
Sure,
Let me
sure.
just
Thank you so much.
maximize it. I will not looking at the comment. I will just move on. Is it good now? It should be
Yes, yes.
maximized, right?
Yes, the
All right.
size is perfect. Thank
I
you.
will just concentrate on it and let you do the work. All right. As for the telephone interview, this usually is the part of the screening interview. Usually it's happen like you're Malaysian and you're applying job in Singapore. And before they decide whether to call you to travel all the way from Malaysia, Singapore, they might want to have a telephone interview with you. This is part of the screening interview. So anyhow, it doesn't mean that when you're not being seen, you're not creating impression. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it's very important to create the impressions. Even through a phone call, you're not seen. How you can make a very good impression is through your voice. Yeah, your voice. You know, it's good that you smile when you're speaking. Then you might be thinking, you might not agree. You say, how can people can tell you are smiling when you're talking? But actually you can. Try that after today's sessions. You know, call a friend or call family members and try to speak with smile. You know, the other side will feel the difference. Yeah. So do the same if you're having this opportunity for the telephone interview. Smile when you're speaking. That will make a whole lot of good impressions. Whole lot of different, the impressions you can create. All right, let's move on to type number 4. Right, online interview is become a very norm nowadays because of the pandemic era. So I think there are few things that you really need to take care of. Of course, the technical equipments such as the camera, whether your mic is working. So before the actual interview itself, you really should know the online interview because they're sharing with you the link and so on. It's good, let's say you find out it's a Zoom or whether it's a Microsoft Team or Google. It's good to install the application in advance and then also try, using the platform to connect with friends or family and see whether your camera looks fine, find the plain background, make sure it's not too, untidy and things like that. And then, of course, you to talk to your family members that you need that privacy during that time. Yeah, no kids running around and things like that. And there's one tip I can share since we have such a short time. Just one tip. When you actually, of course, when you are having this online interview and all that, you'll be looking at the screen. I think that's quite normal. But when you actually want to answer the question, I think I encourage you to look at the pinhole of the camera. Like right now, you can see I'm looking at the pinhole of the camera. So you feel more engaging. So that's how you're creating the impression. Yeah. But of course, when the interviewer asking question, you can look back at the screen. So just don't just stare on the screen all the time. So this is one tip I can share with you. All right. And there's one short video clip. It's about only 45 seconds. This is actually the clip that went viral. I think some years ago in the social media. But I think it's very applicable to what we talk about since online interview become a norm now. So it offers a great lesson for us to take note. So I'd like to share with you the short video clip. Let me just play it.
Scandals happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals? And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change? I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me. My apologies. What does this mean for the region? My apologies. South Korea's policy choices on North Korea.
All right. I hope you learned something from the video clip just now. I keep on watching this as always, as a good reminder for myself, for my online training, online meetings, and so on. All right. For the last but not least, the 5th type of the interview is a group interviews, and there are actually several reasons for the group interview. One of it is to speed up the hiring process. Like remember, Rosdy have mentioned, sometimes they receive like 200, even up to 1,000 applicants for the one job. Yeah, sometimes the shortlisted it could be 10, 20, and in order for them to save time, actually they might be consider having a group interviews. So there are the few things you need to take notes for these type of interviews. Of course, for the perspective of the recruiter, it helps them to speed up. That's one thing, and also for them to compare the candidates against each other, because usually during the group interview, they'll be given a one task. They will involve a lot of discussions among the candidates. That's where they were being observed by the recruiters. Who are the leaders? Who are the followers? Who actually have the personality of a more introvert or more extrovert? So all these can be observed and seen during that group interview. So I know some candidates, they might not feeling comfortable, especially they are the quiet ones. But this is actually the time to show who you really are. But I'm not saying you have to fake it, but you have to take note of it. If you're not comfortable with it, it's good that you practice more with your friends. Yeah, practice more with your friends so that you're comfortable sharing your opinions, your ideas, So make sure that you're not being seen like totally quiet. Yeah, totally quiet. I know some of you may worry, I'm not the talkative one, say how I'm going to pass this. Don't worry, your doesn't mean if you're not a active one, doesn't mean you're not being hired. But let me share with you, there's one experience that we have a group interview with about 10 students, 10 graduates. Basically, we already filtered them. They already fill in the profiling, and then we went through their applications. They're all equally good in academically. So we just want to see, actually, we wanted to hire all of them. The reason to have a group interview is just to identify the characteristic better and allocate them in the right place. So we have like a marketing job, of course, obviously we like somebody who are more outgoing, to fit that job. And we have an administrative job as well. So for those who are more introvert, will be suitable for that. So from the interaction, we can tell that's where we put them in the right place. Yeah. So now that you know 5 types of group interview, so you should be more well prepared and shouldn't be surprised, when you walk into the interview that you found out, wow, there's a panel of people sitting in front of you. There will be other candidates walking in with you. But actually, you can actually ask in advance, yeah, the person who called you for the interview. All right. I can't see your chat right now, but anyhow, we just move on. We reserve the question to the end, right? As I promised that I like to share with you the job interview preparation. Definitely, you need to prepare. There's a lot of things you need to prepare because remember, we're saying creating a good impressions. Definitely, we need to make some effort. So let me just go through the first important point for how to prepare yourself. All right. The first very important is to research organizations. All right. The moment you start, you wanted to apply the job. Let's maybe you see this job description in Facebook page, or it could be in a job street or in a newspaper. Then at the moment you have to start to do some research. So what kind of research you can do is nowadays most of the company they have their own official website. If not, they might have Facebook page. So those are the place you can actually do some research and background check. Yeah. So what are the things that you should pay attention? Those are like their vision, missions, the culture, what are their core values. These are the things that the company values so much. You have to get the information about that. So also get the perspective about their industrial stand, such as like like Top Glove. They are the biggest the glove manufacturer. So you need to know they are not just the biggest world largest glove manufacturer, but actually they capture the 25% of the market share. So these are the point that you can actually use it for your own goods during the interview. So get more of that. Yeah, get more of the insight of the company background. So develop a question list based on your research, because sometimes you've done a lot of research, and then because you're so nervous in a job interview, you might not have a chance to showcase what you have done. So it's good that you prepare questions to ask, later, and then to show that you've done some research. So that's how you make yourself outstanding compared with other candidates. Yeah, let me share with you one experience. We have engaged with this Top Glove. They actually wanted us to send some graduates to them, for interview. Of course, they want to hire them, but what we do is we want to send the best of the best, of course. So of course we selected about I think it's about 10. We have a mock interview with about 10 candidates. They're all equally equally good in academically. They're all good. And then what makes them different is this part. You know, I remember that we selected the finalists to send to Top Glove for interview. The students actually impressed us so much by showing the research they have done. Like I told you just now, you say they are the biggest glove manufacturer in the world, and they capture 25% of the market share. So it showed that he actually makes some effort. He showed interest about the company. So this is something that you can do before the job interview. Let's move to the point number 2. I think this is so important. I think Encik Rosdy also did mention about that. It's important that to have these compare your skill and qualifications to the job requirement. So what you do is spend some time once you see the job the job description, right? What you do is to make a list of requirement of the position, such as the skill they're asking. Are they asking for the computing skill like Excel, PowerPoint? So qualifications, in terms of qualification, are they asking for diploma only, or they want a degree holder in what field? So these are the things you have to write it down, and then they make a list of your strength, side by side. And then what you do, you're comparing and doing matching skills. Yeah, matching skill. I mean, the skill, you should be matching to the requirement. This is very important, helping you to answer at least 2 important questions later on. Yeah, of course, I can tell you now. One is they might be asking you, why should we hire you? This is where you can showcase, because you already done the comparison. You fulfill some of the requirement they want in terms of skill set, in terms of qualifications. They say, or sometimes they might be asking you another questions, why do you want this job? You can also say, you can also, based on this, comparing and matching, this will be able to help you at least answer 2 type of questions, right? Let's move on to point number 3, prepare responses. This is important. So most of the interview, not all, but most of the interview, they actually have the combination or resume based on behavioral and case questions. So let me explain one by one. Resume based, it could be like based on your resume. They could be asking you if you have being employed before. They might be asking you the gap. Let's say if they find out there's a gap between 2 jobs, maybe there's a 6-month gap, they might be asking you, what did you do during the 6 months? If you're students, fresh grads, they might be asking you about the volunteer job that you have done, that you listed in the resume. And the behavioral, they actually capture through how you carry yourself the moment you walk in, how you talk and all that. But it's more obvious during the group interview, like I mentioned to you, the last type, the 5th type of the interview. Usually they can see how you interact in the group. Yeah, and last, and the case question, it could be giving you a scenario. They can be giving you a question, a task. If you were in this situation, what would you do? So I think it's good that for you to be prepared to respond. You shouldn't be like shocked, with this type of questions. All right, make a list of the strength so that you know what to share. This is very important, because the previous point 2, you already, list out those like skill set, your accomplishments and your qualification. All those are part of your strength as well, because that will help you. And important to practice telling your own story in the best possible way you can. The best is 1 to 2 minutes, 2 minutes maximum. Yeah, 2 minutes maximum. You should practice UPC. People may think that tell me about yourself is easy, busy things, right? But do not underestimate this, because you have only 1 or 2 minutes to really impress the interviewer. Usually most likely they will start with this question. And then these questions, of course, there's so many angles you can share about your story, right? But just always remember, whatever you share, it has to be related to the job that you're applying, right? It has to be related. Later, I'll share more about that, how you tackle this question when they ask you about yourself. Let's move to number 4. This is very important, and your lecturer already tell me to share more about this, because sometimes students may not believe what lecturers say lah. So they actually wanted us from the industry to let you know this is so important. They say dress to impress, right? Yeah, display the important part of the creating a good impressions, right? So plan what to wear. You should prepare it, if it's not a few days ahead, but at least 1 day ahead. But I know some people, they might be, they really care about the interview. They might be really go do shopping just to buy the clothes for the interview. But I would say, it's good to at least wear once of the clothing that you plan to wear for the interview, because you do not know whether it's going to be very comfortable, whether it's breathable material and all that. I think it's at least wear once, especially new shoes. Do not, never ever wear new shoes for job interview, because you do not know how comfortable is your shoes. That's one thing. Secondly, you don't know how far you have to walk from a parking lot to the interview room. Yeah, so wear something comfortable, clean and neat. Right, this is very important. Right, I would suggest business attire. If you ask me what color, I would say solid color. Solid color, it could be something a dark brown or dark blue or black if it's for your blazer. But if it's for this, like this in the photo, this is called dressing shirts, or you can call blouse. Wear something a clean color like light blue or white, and wear a conservative tie. Of course, tie is optional. It depends on the job that you're applying. If you are applying a technicians, maybe you're working in the field, I think without a tie is fine. Make sure you tie in with a belt, yeah, nicely iron. This is very important. And then take care of the personal hygiene. Yeah, this is very important. And remember, whatever you dress, make sure that overall appearance is neat and clean. Okay. All right. The fifth one, pay attention to the non-verbal communication. Just now, dressing is part of the non-verbal communication, meaning you're making a statement of yourself without having said anything. People already, judging in a 7 second whether they like you or they want to listen to you or not through how you carry yourself, how you walk, how you dress yourself. So all these are very important. So beside dressing, I will share a few more to help you. Be on time, all right? Some people may say be on time means it's on the dot. Let's say your interview is 9 o'clock and you arrive just on time. So to me, that's not good enough. To me, be on time is actually, if it's not 45 minutes ahead, at least half an hour. Why? Because you do not know what happened. It could be either it's a traffic jam, it could be you're not allowed to park inside the area. You have to park quite far away. You have to walk like 10 minutes. And then maybe by the time you reach to the building, you really sweat. You may need to change. Of course, the conditions that you're bringing your another shirts. Yeah? If you know you're very easy to sweat, I think it's better to bring an extra shirts with you. So always ahead of time. So anything happen, hiccups, you can always make it right. And then start ahead. What do I mean start ahead? Meaning to say, your interview is not only start in the room itself, not only in the interview room itself. The moment you walk into the building, you have to be alert already. You have to be quite attentive to the surrounding. So especially like in the waiting room, you thought, okay, it's fine. It's my own space because I'm not being interviewed yet. So nowadays we have a best friend we call smartphone, right? Smartphone is our best friend. So how we kill our time, usually we just, mind phone we just look at our phone just to kill our time, but I would not encourage that, because sometimes, if you really look at it, sometimes the waiting room itself have a CCTV. You might be being observed while you're in the waiting room. I would encourage you to talk to the other candidates, your neighbors. Don't treat them like competitors, and that moment you can be a bit friendly, talk to them. That also help you to so that you're not so nervous, by the time you get in, by the time you're being called to go into interview room. This is how you actually practice talking, so you go in, actually you're so you're so ready. This is very important. Okay, project confidence. Yeah, of course you will be asking that how to project confidence. Confidence actually comes from preparation, good preparation. The few things that I mentioned, the research and all that, you have done that, you should have the confidence that you have done your part. Yeah, whatever that is not on your control, you can't do. But those things in your control, you already done. But we suggest, like ladies, right, you usually put some makeup and reasonable makeup and all that, that's fine. And guys will comb nicely your hair, dress neatly. But I would suggest one more thing. I think the best makeup you can ever have is to project a smile. Because when you're nervous, it's hard to smile, right? When you can smile, basically it shows that you're very relaxed, you enjoy, you're happy to be there. So a smile, it will be very helpful. So practice smile. All right, posture counts. Yes, the way you sit, I'll encourage you to sit up, but not too tight, and just relax a little bit of your shoulder, but sit up. Don't hunch your back, yeah? Don't hunch your back, just sit up. And then be attentive. Like I mentioned, the moment you walk into the building, you have to be attentive already. Greet, be nice to people. It's not just during interview time. As a human being, we should be nice to everyone. Security guard, receptionist, even if you're in toilet, you meet the ladies who are washing toilet, you greet them. You know, you never know. They could be very close to the HR person. Yeah, they may be contributing some of their opinion about you. So you never know. Just be attentive about your surrounding. I'd like to share with you this one story. There was once that the guy actually walking into the lift, and then because he was so busy looking at his own phone, he's so busy on the own phone. There's another man actually running towards to the lift because he was so busy looking at his phone. He didn't manage to hold the lift. So what happened? So the man was actually being left out. The door closed, and then oops, he didn't manage. He said, "Okay, fine, sorry." So by the time it was his turn to walk into the interview room, what happened? The man that he left behind is actually the interviewer. So you can imagine how it goes for the interview. So be attentive. Put your phone, your best friend aside on the day, put on silence. Yeah, be attentive to surrounding. Right, manage your reactions. Like I say, if you have prepared well, there's a different type of interview, how far is the parking lot to the interview room and all that. You should be able to manage better about your reaction. You shouldn't be like surprised. I kena jalan begitu jauh ke? You start complaining and all that. You shouldn't have. You should be well prepared emotionally. All right. The last point about preparation is the questions. Okay, many interviews will end with, do you have any questions? So what would you think? What would you do if you're being asked if you have any questions? I think most of the candidates will say no, right? Will say no for several reasons. First is because, I already think that I'm being able to survive by answering question from the interviewer. I already done my part. I want to leave this room as soon as I can. They're so tense. They don't want to stay there anymore. And another one is like they don't want to make any mistake. If I ask question, do I show that I'm demanding? Will I show that I'm asking too much and all that? But actually, it's good for you to ask question. That helps to leave a good impressions that you really want this job. So let me share with you. You can actually make a list out from your research. I will share a few sample so you can for your reference. Yeah. The first one you can ask, what do you see as the most challenging aspect of this job, the job that you're applying? By asking these questions, you give impressions to the interviewer. You're not just wanting a job, but you want to really do good about this job. You really want to success and nail the job. You really want to do good. So you're asking now, what is the more challenging aspect of the job? So you actually leave a very good impression. The second question you may ask is, who are the main person or groups that I'll be working with? So this also will help you have a better idea. If you, especially if you're an introvert person working with a lot of people from different departments, maybe it's not your thing. Of course, you have to consider that. Yeah. And then you can also ask if you're somebody who actually, like me, who care about the training and development. It's good to ask, are there any opportunity for professional development? If yes, how does it look like? So hopefully they will explain a bit more about any career path and all that. And you also can ask, what are the next steps in hiring process? I think this is a good alternative way to ask instead of, whether being called after this interview, how would I know whether I'll be selected for finalists and all that? I think this is a good alternative to ask. Yeah. What are the next steps in hiring process? So they will explain to you, hopefully. And then this is the last question. I think to some people, this could be a bit daring question, but I would think this is a good question. If you're ready for it, then you can ask. So you can ask, is there anything about my background or resume that makes you question whether I am a good fit for this role? Don't you think that it can show so much that you really want a job? If you have any doubt at all about my background resume that, whether I'm a good fit, I can explain to you now. Please ask me. So you're actually welcoming questions, to clear the doubt about the interviewer. So really, if I have that candidates ask this question, I'm very difficult to forget the person. you will leave a very good impressions about yourself. Okay, I cover more than half of a slide, right? I think this is also maybe one of the most, the students wanted to know so much about these top questions. Because of the time limit, we only limit to 10 questions. Of course, when you Google, you can Google the top 20 questions, the top 40 questions, you can always do that. But let's limit to the top 10, yeah? Shall we? Let's go through number 1. Tell me about yourself. Remember I mentioned that? Practice telling your story in the best possible way you can. I would say 1 to 2 minutes is good enough. So let me give you the idea how you do it, how to go about it. Sometimes you can start by talking about a little bit personal interest. Yeah, like I started with my family. I say I have 2 daughters. One is Form 5, one is doing the diploma in social work, and I'm start moving to my qualification. I say my highest educations qualification is MBA, and I've been in these positions for 14 years, and I'm passionate. It's good to use those very active words like I'm passionate passionate in training, empowering people. I enjoy it, I love it. You use that kind of words. You can show you're a very passionate person, yeah, especially the job require you to meet client and things like that. So you can start with say my personal interest, especially when in job requirement they already mentioned they want you to be somebody who's very outgoing, who able to have who have a good communication skill and all that. I think it's good to mention a little bit that maybe you can say I'm a person who love outdoor activities. I go to hiking and go for running on Sunday and weekends and things like that. Then very briefly you talk about that. Then quickly you say, in addition to those interests, my professional life is a huge part of who I am. So I would like to talk a little bit about some of the strength which I bring to this job. Remember, during the preparation, I did mention and suggest to you to list down a strength you have. This is where you showcase your strength. Do not go into the job interview only realize that, oh, I have to think about what strength I have. Oh, do I have leadership skill? Do I have this and that? No, you should have prepared already the strength. Because no matter what question they ask you, you can always link to the strength you have. Because tell me about yourself is a very open questions. Yeah, it's up to you how you want to put it in what kind of perspective you're in full control on that. Okay, there's one tip I'd like to share to avoid talking too much about family responsibility or hobbies that might leave the impressions to the interviewer that you might not be 100% committed to the job. Yeah, like you say, oh, I love outdoor activities, and you spend 1 minute to talk about what you've done on Sundays with your friends and family. That should be, keep it minimum. Yeah, you should focus still more on what you can contribute and what are you looking for, what's your short-term goals and things like that. I hope everyone is clear for the question number 1. Very quickly, we go to why should we hire you? Remember the preparation you have done? You've done the matching qualification, skill, accomplishment, comparing with the job requirement. This is important. You are trying to outlash and also stand out from the other candidates. Like just now, Rosdy said, there could be like so many people apply the job. 200 out of 200, maybe there will be 10 of them being called for interview. So you really want to add value on that. Yeah, you want to show some uniqueness about yourself. So there's a sample answer here. You can answer something like, according to the job requirement, you're looking for the assistant teacher with a lot of patience and also compassion. And then you can mention a little bit of your maybe part-time job. Yeah, for graduates who have no job experience, you maybe have part-time job. So having served as a tutor at a tuition center for the past 3 months, 6 months, I developed my ability to extremely patient while I'm still achieving academic goals with my students. You see, you highlight the skills that you're looking for, the skill they're looking for, and then you're saying that you have that. How you have that? You have developed that over years, where over the 6 months where you're doing your part-time job. And you're not only that, but you're able to achieve academic goals. So this is very important. You should be able to structure out all this, yeah, and much earlier before the job interview. All right, I give you another bonus sample, yeah. Why should we hire you? So you can say, based on what you said, during the conversations in the job interview, and also from the research I've done, you actually sort of like telling them you have done your research. So your company is looking for a candidate who has, communication skill, competing skill, I believe my experience align well with that and makes me a great fit. And you mentioned I am good in communication skill and I have advanced level in PowerPoints and also Excel. Okay, I believe I can add great value to these positions. This is how you do the matching to convince the interviewer that you're a great fit for this. All right, let's move to question number 3. So what is your greatest strength? Again, you make use of the preparation you have, the strength. Of course, you could have a lot of strength, but it's important to share the on-target strength, good fit. Let's say if you're applying for accountant position, maybe sharing about experience organizing event might not be very on target, maybe might not be so relevant. Yeah, in this case, you must know what they're looking for. You share the strength that directly related to the job requirement. This is very important. Okay, you're not sharing just simply to share everything about you. You will make everything on point. Right? Describe the skills, experience directly related to the job you're applying for, and then tell a story and demonstrate your strength from the professional experience. When I mention professional experience, doesn't mean it has to come from the full-time job. Yeah, for graduates and for students who have not been employed before, you can still talk about the experience, the strength, the ability that you develop over the years in school or in your college or in your Politeknik. Yeah, maybe throughout your core curriculum, or it could be throughout your maybe some activities, some clubs and things like that. You have to talk a little bit more how you develop over, because you see some skills is very difficult to show. If it's computing skill is okay. Computing skill, let's say you attend 2 days Excel course, then you're giving a cert intermediate or advanced level. But for like communication skill, leadership skill, it's hard to prove. So you need to have a story to support and to demonstrate that you already develop that strength over the years in school or in the college or in Politeknik. Yeah. So I give you another bonus sample how to answer and tackle these questions. You can say, I have a strong work ethic. Yeah, even you have no experience working, you can say you have a strong work ethic. When I'm working on project, a school project included, I don't just want to meet deadlines. Rather, I prefer to complete the project ahead of schedule. Last year, I even earned a bonus for completing 3 reports ahead, 1 week ahead of time. This is especially important for the job that project-based job. Yeah, if you know the job is actually a lot of multiple, you might have to do a lot of multiple projects and all that. That is good to share about this. Whether you're well prepared for the multi project and meeting deadlines. This is very important to convince the interviewer. All right. And what is your greatest weakness? Okay, I think a lot of students have no problem sharing the strength because they really, this is who they are. Everyone has a strength, right? But a lot of times the students, when they get these questions, they get a bit, dilemma, like, should I share, should I not share, right? So I know I have the same feeling. Sometimes we all had weaknesses, but do we have to share all the weaknesses? No, answer is no. You have to pick and choose. This one have to answer it in a very structured way. You have to mention something that the weakness that you already improve. Yeah, something that you improve. You can say something like you should be a very last minute person. As an undergrad, you used to leave the assignment until the last minute. But with the workload of a graduate school or college, I have no choice but to schedule my time very effectively. This has transformed into the excellent sense of time and project management in my professional work. You see, last time you used to be very last minute, but because you have been transforming by managing your time better. Of course, if you're given longer time, you can explain more. The real example how you manage your multiple projects and your assignment at the same time. You can talk a bit more if you have the time. This is only for reference, yeah. And also you want to share something that you turn the negative into positive. Actually, there's a one coin, they say 2 sides of one coin. It depends how you want to share the different perspective. Yeah, one of it you can see perfectionist. Yeah, being a perfectionist is not only very pressure, the kind of environment, creating the kind of environment to also to other people. To other people, usually when we are very detailed detailed into the we could be seen as very demanding. Yeah, but you can share something like that. I've learned to make my perfectionism into my advantage. I have become proficient and meeting my deadlines, and with my attentions to details, I know that my work is accurate. You see, it's a perfectionist. You can say something bad about it, you can say something good about it. You just make sure you're able to turn into positive. Yeah. So I hope at this point, you're able to think of one or two of your weakness that you already overcome or you already improve. So you're able to share. So never ever say, I don't have any weakness. Huh? Everyone have at least a few weakness, if it's not one. Yeah. To share, open heart, and make sure that you share something you already turned to positive or something that you already improve. Okay. There's one I like to share with you, bonus tip for students, yeah, who are about to graduate. You can, I give a scenario, a fresh graduate applying an entry-level marketing role in a corporation or in a company. So this is how you can tackle this question. You can say, I would say that my biggest weakness is the lack of experience. I did my best to be active in school or in college. I designed campaigns for school projects. Still, I'm lack of practice with designing campaigns for real market conditions. So you are telling truth. You really lack of experience because you're fresh grads. We know employment experience in your resume, and then you try to share with the interviewer that you are doing your best to be active in school or college or in poly, and then you did something in the campaign, but you just lack of experience doing in the real market condition. And then what you do, you continue. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I applied for this job, because I noticed your company and work on many projects and serve clients from all over the world. I believe that I can gain experience with you. Don't just stop there. Yeah, you must say something like, soon I will add value and contribute to the team. You see, a lot of company, they don't like to feel like you come here just to gain experience with them, and after that you will chabut, right? But actually, what they want to know, of course, you are here, you are fresh grads, you need experience, you need to start with somewhere. But as the interviewer or as an employer, I will very much interested to know you are not just here to gain experience, but you're here also to grow with us. And at the end, eventually, in no time, you will be very equipped and able to add value and contribute back to the team. This is very important. So don't just stop in halfway. Make sure that you're saying that you want to contribute back to the team. All right, we're already half of the question. I have about 10 minutes. I think I'll be able to do that. All right, this is for those who already being employed students. I think it's good that you get to know about this. So next time in the future, you know how to tackle this question. So just remember, when you're being asked why you're leaving this current job or why you left the job, so just remember, you must give the impressions that you're more motivated by the possibility of new opportunities and not trying to escape the bad situation. So never ever talk bad about your former company, your colleagues or supervisor. Even this could be true, but you don't want to do that. Why? You must be asking why, right? Because you will give impressions to interviewer, you will do the same when you're leaving them. When you are, in the future, you might do the same thing to them. So nobody, no interviewer, no employer like that. Employee talk bad about their company. Okay? All right, sample answers. I'm interested in new challenges and opportunity. You emphasize on that. To make use of my technical skills and experience in the different capacity that I have in the past. See, your focus in the challenges and opportunity. And you also can have this alternative. You can say that I'm seeking a positions with a stable company, with a room for growth and opportunity for advancement. You see, you never say anything about your former company. All right. This is maybe most of students will ask lah. Yeah, I'd like to share a little bit about this as well. So they might be asking, they will ask you what are your salaries expectation during interview. They will also most probably will ask you to fill up this salary expectations on the application form as soon as you arrive in the premises. So I would suggest to provide a salary range, to like maybe you, of course, first you have to know your worth. You know how much is it paid in that region, for that positions. You can put a range like 1,008 and 2,002. That show that you're a bit more flexible, but you know your worth. Do not leave it blank. Yeah, if it's on the paper application form itself, you can actually blanket it and put negotiable if you want to. Yeah, you can say something like that based on, this is during job interview. Yeah, based on the 2 years experience, if you have experience, I would expect a salary in a range of 2005 to 3000. Yeah, this is something you can say. Or if it's a longer version, you can say, I'm open to discuss what you believe to be a fair salary for these positions. I would need to learn more about the specific duties required for these positions. So you're being very humble and you know that there are a lot of things you need to learn. However, this is very important words that you can make use of it. However, I do understand the positions similar to this job in this region. It could be in KL, it could be in Northern, it could be in Southern, it could be in East Malaysia. Pay in this range, 2005 and 3000. Meaning, you've done your research, you know how much is worth for this job in this region. Yeah. So you students, you may be asking, how do I know my worth? How do I know how much I entitled in this region? So there is always a source for you to refer. One of it, I think, is quite reliable. It's called Malaysia Salary Benchmark Micro Page. They actually based on the survey. I've been referring to them for many, many years. This is how I can actually advise to the students what they should fill in, what are the salary range they can fill in application form. So they usually, the one I show you here is 2020 because this is the last I have. And I do not know whether it's because of the pandemic reason we couldn't do the survey like they used to do. They do not provide for 2021, but I still think this is a very good reference. Yeah. So student, you can actually download it. You can Google search. You just put on Malaysian Salary Benchmark Micro Page. You will have a PDF over 100 pages. But just don't worry, just go straight to the job that if you're engineers, you're going to be engineers, you just look for the engineers and you look for the different region. If you're going to apply the job in KL, just look in the KL. So give you a better idea. Yeah, how's the pay range like? For 2021, they have something called talent trends in 2021. I think particularly this, I'm sharing this because I believe there is a recruiters among us today. This could be useful for you to know what are the trends right now. I think it's pretty useful. This is downloadable. But usually I tried that a couple of days ago. They actually asking you to fill in your emails, then they will send to you. Yeah, but so far I haven't received any advertisement and all that. You just make sure you tick you do not want to have any advertisement and things like that. So this to share with the recruiters. All right. 7, why do you want this job? As I mentioned just now, why should we hire you is quite similar. Just make sure that you've done your research, you know their products, the service, the culture, vision, and mission. Just be specific. What are you good at? What you can add value, right? You can say something like, I want this job because it's related to sales and marketing. These are the 2 greatest skills that I have. In my previous job, I have increased sales by 15%. That was at the time considered a flat industry. I know I could bring my 3 years or 1 year sales and marketing experience to this company, and I help you to continue the years of growth. Yeah, for students, don't worry. If you don't have any work experience, what I suggest is after you've done some research, let's say this company, they've done a lot of CSR. Just now, Encik Rosdy had mentioned about that. It's a corporate social responsibility. You know, they've done a lot of that. And then if you're a person who actually do a lot of volunteer job, of course, like you say, as now we mentioned, it's good to put in a resume. And then during the interview, you can actually talk about that. You can say that I want this job because I noticed your company done a lot of CSR and I'm a volunteering person. I've done a lot of volunteering, as you can see in my resume. So I'm hoping by joining your company, not just only the skill set that I mentioned, matching the job, but I believe I can involve myself more on the CSR. So this is how you actually tackle the question, yeah? So we come to the last 2 questions. So how do you handle stress and pressure? So same thing, this is quite similar. Can you share with us your greatest weakness? Do not deny and say, I don't have stress. I rarely feel stress and I don't have weaknesses. So you have to acknowledge there is a stress during your school time, during your work time. So, but it's important not just to go and talk about the stress, how stressful you are and all that in your previous job or in your school, but also to share how you overcome and even use it to your advantage. This is very important, students. So this is a sample answer you can refer. And then pressure is very important to me. Good pressure, such as having a lot of assignments with deadlines and help me to stay motivated and productive. Of course, there are times when too much pressure can lead to stress. However, I'm very skilled at balancing multiple projects and meeting deadlines, which prevent me from feeling stretched often. I would break down each project into a smaller assignment. I completed all 3 projects ahead of time to avoid unnecessary stress. This is how you show that you have overcome it. So you give me a confidence as the interviewer that, let's say in the future, especially those who actually will have a lot of pressure, they might worry that you can't take it. So by sharing this story, I'm thinking this guy or this girl might, I think I have confidence that she can take it, you know. So this is the reason why you share how you overcome it. It's very important, right? And number 9, describe a difficult work situations and how you overcome it. This is quite similar to the previous question, right? And then give an example. Of course, you have to prepare in advance so you know how to tackle it well. So share a difficult situation and successfully solve. It could be a project that you have done in poly. It could be the real struggle that you have during your previous job. All right, you can say something like, I was working in a team project and my colleagues and I had to make decisions about how to utilize our limited budget. Because these decisions involve communications and our team learn to communicate effectively with one another, and we ultimately make the best decisions for the team in achieving our goal. So you see, you mentioned about you have limited resources, which is the budget, but because of throughout this process, you involve a lot of communications, especially when the requirement of the job is they want you to have a communication skill. They want you to have a communication skill. So from here, you actually sort of like indirectly telling or convincing the interviewer that you have that communication skill. If you're not being asked of the previous questions, what are your strengths? This is where you quickly showcase that the strength that they are required. So you also tell them that you're able to achieve the goal. Because for employer, they just want, of course, the job basically they want you to do is to solve the problem, is to able to solve the issue that they have. So ability to able to solve the issue is very important to them. Right? Last questions. So what are the goals for the future? So explain the actions you're going to take, like develop skills that you think like you don't, you're not good enough. Maybe like you mentioned just now, you say you have done some marketing campaign in school, but you don't have the real actual market experience, and you like to develop this area further if you're being hired. You can mention that, yeah. You can also don't focus too much on the earnings and how much you're getting paid and how much there's bonuses and all that. Yeah, you can ask 1 or 2, but not paying too much attention and focus too much on that, because it may sound like your focus is not to you're not able to commit so much, but your focus is a different area in small money sense lah. Yeah, sample answer is you can say something like, in the short terms, I hope to work as a sales representative for companies such as yours, and the one that with mission based on excellent customer service, especially when you notice they might want some awards about customer service in their website. I think it's good to mention that. Yeah, mention that you've done some research. And working as a sales representative for a company that I believe in will prepare me to take on the team leadership responsibility in the future, or if all this become available. So you're moving from short term, what you're going to do, you focus on building this excellence customer service, and then you're moving into the leadership role in the future if you're given opportunity. So this is a good way you tackle these questions. All right, I think that's about it. I've done. Okay, let me just minimize this one. We're back here.
I was busy jotting down notes and tips from you, Miss Chong. That is very insightful, extremely informative, I would say.
I hope not too much.
We want more. I want more. I need more. And can I say it's quite eye-opening, especially for our future job seekers out there. Because what Miss Christine is giving us is actually an insight behind the doors on what's going on of that closed door of an interview session. Very, very insightful. Miss Christine, thank you so much for that soalan-soalan bocor. I hope you're taking it down if you want to excel in your interview. That is extremely informative, I would say. With that, we end the sharing slot by Miss Christine Chong. Thank you again for your dedication and in your effort. You put so much with the valuable tips and with your info regarding interview session and what goes into making a winning candidate. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you are jotting all these notes down. And you have some question. Do you have time for question? Okay. Ashnawi is asking, I know how to answer the questions in Malay, but not in English. So can I answer the answer in Malay or not? How do I
Okay.
handle this, Miss Chong?
I would say there's no issue answer in Malay unless the job actually is actually about becoming English tutor. It really depends on the job you're applying. Yeah, but of course, generally you want to answer in Malay, it's no problem. But I would advise and to suggest to ask permissions lah. In the interview, you say, "Can I answer it in Bahasa?" Usually they will say yes lah. They wouldn't say no. Yeah. Okay. I hope I answered
All
your
right,
question.
second question. We are being flooded with question actually, Miss Chong. Our second question means, let's say my internet goes down during the internet online interview. Will I be able? Can I ask for second chance? How do we go
Okay,
about?
this is a very good question because during this pandemic era, we all, unavoidable to use the online interview, online meeting. But I would still say it's our responsibility to make sure that connections is good. If you know that you are in kampong, you know that there's a very weak connection, you need to make sure that during the interview, you will go somewhere that have a strong connections. So, but it still happens. Sometimes it can still happen that you can actually ask for it. You can actually apologize and ask for second chance. But again, I say you need to do your part. You know your house is the weak connections. Just have to find somewhere else.
True, it's
Yeah.
your responsibility to make sure it goes well. Yeah, it goes smoothly. All right, my the third question: can I postpone from Darmila? Can I postpone the interview session? Perhaps she has prior engagement. Would it affect my chance of getting the job? How to answer this, Miss Chong?
All right. Of course, we are not encouraged to postpone, but of course, with a valid reason, something happened, and then you. But I would say inform the HR as soon as you can. What I'm worried is if this is one-to-one interview, not so bad. They may be able to allocate another date for you. But if this is a group interview I mentioned, remember the fifth type of it, they might want you to interact among with other candidates that might not work. So I would advise to inform them as soon as you can with valid reason.
I understand. All right. Next question from Nazira. Can I ask the interviewer about the scope of the job? And can I ask about the work schedule, like working hours, overtime, basic salaries, and whatnot? Is it permittable to answer such question during the interview?
Definitely you can ask because during an interview you're not just being assessed, but you also assess whether you want to take up this job as well. It's actually both side lah, both side. So but I would just say I would suggest not focus too much on that. Yeah, you want to ask, you need to very diplomatic to ask, just you can say the benefits. What are the benefits like, you're not like mentioning, ask one by one, how many days of annual leave, how many months of bonus, when I get the OT if I work extra and all that. You can have like out of 10 questions you all have, you can ask 1 or 2, but not focus too much on that. Yeah.
I understand. Do we have any more question? I see that we are being flooded with question. Okay, Shami, what if the what if the interviewers annoy me and get on my nerve? Should I fight back? Okay. Miss Chong.
Okay, this is very much depends on what do you mean annoy me. Annoy me, is it because the interviewer is being very rude, or could it be humiliating you? It could be discriminations. It depends on level of it. If it's not, sometimes the interviewee could be purposely give you a difficult questions. It's part of the test, especially the job require a lot of interaction with other people. Especially like you're handling like with the drivers, and then you may face that people who might not have a very good education background, whether you can take it or not. They might be using this, pressure you during the time, want to see your reactions. I would say if as long as it's not humiliating you, discrimination and all that, you should do your best to answer it gracefully. But of course, be brave to stand up. You will find out that there's discriminations and there's humiliations. Just walk away. Of course, you should report to the person who actually contact you for interview and let them know what happened in the interview room. All right?
Good point. Good point. So everyone keep calm. All right, keep calm. We have another question from Diba. Diba is asking, Madam, what type of backdrop is suitable for an online interview?
All right. I would say actually you just pick the plain wall. Plain wall will be good. If you think that it's difficult to get a plain wall, then you will choose something wallpaper, right? The plain wallpaper lah. Don't take them something too fancy like a dreamland and all that. Look professional, yeah.
Look professional, yes. Keep calm and be professional. Do we have any more question? I think we do. Let me scroll up because I think we got time. Can we spare
Yes,
5 more
definitely.
minutes more question?
Yes, I love question. Please.
Okay,
send them
actually
all.
okay, hang on, let me search for any question. From Arun. Miss, I stutter sometimes when I'm nervous. At time it would make me sweat like crazy and make my outfit drench in sweat. Are there tips to avoid this problem? He is a
Okay.
nerve wreck.
Okay, like I mentioned just now about if you know your type, you sweat easily. I think I advise you to bring extra shirts, with you. Once you reach to the building, you ask. That's why it's good to be ahead, start ahead. You be not just on dot on the time, just be there earlier, 45 minutes. You found out where is it the interview room gonna be. You just relax yourself a little bit and ask where's the bathroom, where is the toilet, and then you clean yourself or you change. Yeah, it's good. It's good to find out that. Yeah, to just relax a little bit. I know sometimes it's a bit difficult because you know that this is going to determine whether you're going to get a job or not. But just try as much as you can by doing the preparation, the point that I share with you. So once you have done your preparation, you should have the confidence. Yeah, this kind of the situation will be less.
All right. Our next question from Akmal. This is a very good question. Miss, can I call back the company to ask about the status of my interview if they never call me back after the interview ended? Can they call back?
This is a very good question. Remember that I mentioned it's good to ask questions. What is the hiring process like? Meaning, actually, you already clarify what's the next step. After interview, whether being contact or only the shortlisted being contact. So it's good to ask during the interview. But if it's not, let's say you don't have a chance to ask these questions and you want to call, of course you can do so. Yeah, but not all the company will entertain. But I did have one candidate actually call me up and she thanked me for the opportunity for the job interview. And she said, Miss, I really appreciate if you could just spend 1 minute to let me know what are the things that I can improve. I tell you what, I was very impressed with that, even though I didn't actually hire her. But I remember her very well, and I keep thinking, actually want to hire her back if I have a similar post, because she gave me an impression she just not like showing that, oh no, she's angry, she's not getting a job, but she really wanted to know the area she can improve. So you can do so with the intention, calling and then asking, if the person can share some tips with you how to improve yourself in the future interview.
That is a very good point. Yeah, so impression matters, ladies and gentlemen. The things you do before your interview, the things you said, and the things you do during the interview, and also the things you do after the interview ended, leave an impression on you as a candidate. Thank you so much again, Miss Chong. We learned a lot. We benefit a lot from your slot. I wish it's longer so we can pick on your brain further. And hopefully in the near future, we can also have this kind of engagement in the near future.
Definitely.
Thank you again. Thank you again so much, Ms. Chong, for your insightful and your priceless input. Thank you so much again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost at the end of our program this afternoon. However, do not leave yet. Let's play some game, shall we? What do you think? Let's play some game. Some exciting cash prizes await for the lucky winner. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to play some game? No, not some Squid Game. We are not shooting or killing anyone this afternoon. All right. I'm going to share the link in the comment section. Please click on that link. Those who are willing to participate, please click on the link and please use your full name. All right, ladies and gentlemen, click on the link and log in using your full name. Why it matters? Because if you win, you will win some cash prize, and our committee will wire you the money using the details in your registration link. All right. Let's see how many have joined. Woo. Wow, active participation. We've received 60, 70 so far. I I love that sound. Wow, 127 so far, yeah? Don't forget to log in using your full name. You need that if you want the money. We are giving some cash prize at the end of this game. Wow, big numbers. Almost 200. Let's give some more time for others to join us. I love looking at the numbers. We're receiving almost 250 participants so far. All right. Wow, that's quite a number. Okay, ready? All right, don't forget to log in using your full name. We are going to start the game now. Oh, I can't. Oh, okay. Sorry about this. I got disconnected. Apparently, too many people tried to join the game. Give me 5 seconds to refresh my browser. So sorry about this, guys. But this happened. This is a live show and this happened. So sorry about this. All right, we are back. Okay. So go ahead. Again, I got disconnected. Okay, go ahead. Play the game. You may proceed. You may proceed. Don't worry. Don't worry about my connection, guys. This is just my connection because there are apparently too many of you join the games. Please proceed with the game. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. So we have a winner so far. Tam Sun Liu, you won the first prize, and Prasanna, you won the second prize. Nurul Najiha is at the third place. However, Izzuddin is currently at fourth place. You can still climb up the ladders, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. All the question in this game is based on the previous slot. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I got disconnected because there are too many players in the platform. Do not worry about me. Please proceed with the game. So sorry about the visual though. Putri is leading at the moment. Tam is at number 2. Izzuddin is currently at number 3. Harini Thomas is at number 4. Ching is at number 5. Come on, guys. You still have time to climb up the ladders. So sorry about the visual. The game is still running. Don't worry about this. The game is still running. Don't worry. It's just my connection. Apparently, there are too many players in the platform, so I got sidetracked. So sorry about this. All right, we are almost at the end of the game, so we have a winner so far. Apparently, Yung Long is at the first place, and at the second place is Harimi, and Aimi is at number 3. We have 10 more seconds before we end the game. So if you want the cash prize, please log in and play the game. All right. Okay, are we ready? The game is about to end. Is at number 1, is at the first prize. Second place is Harini, and Aimi is at number 3. All right. Congratulations to the winner. Our committee member will contact you. So make sure you fill in the application form, the registration form, so we can wire you the money. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brought us to the end of our program this afternoon. Please don't forget to fill up the attendance form for your e-certificate. Yes, you will be awarded with an e-certificate for joining us this afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizer, thank you everyone for making time to join us this afternoon for the Naked Truth, a webinar on the present reality of the recruitment process. Thank you again for all of our wonderful speakers and their insightful sharing. We learned a lot. We gained a lot. Thank you so much again. And then we hope all of you, our viewers, you managed to learn a thing or two, or perhaps a lot throughout this webinar, and hopefully it will be beneficial to you in the future as it is to us at this moment. What a wonderful learning experience, everyone. We wish you all the best. We wish you a pleasant day ahead. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day and please stay safe. Thank you, everyone.